A slate of new Texas laws will go into effect in December and in January, and here's what you need to watch for. One being laws including restricting transgender people's access to public bathrooms, allowing lawsuits against abortion pill providers, and replacement of the STAAR test. Dozens of the new Texas laws will take effect in December and January, bringing wide ranging changes to the state's education system, law enforcement, taxes, and more. Over 800 laws from this year's regular legislative session have already took effect on September the 1st, but more measures from this period or that period, as well as the second special session, will soon activate. Notably, the legislation behind the Texas GOP mid-decade push to redraw the congressional map and get 5 more seats for Donald Trump is supposed to take effect on December 4th. The federal court ruled against Texas earlier this month. The High Court has temporarily restored the new map while the justices consider their final decision. A recent lawsuit also halted the congressional amendment that allows Senate Bill 5 to go into effect December 1st. The law will create the Dementia Prevention and Research Institute of Texas to study dementia, Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's, and other brain related conditions as the state is growing older faster than the rest of the country. I was wondering why I always saw so many old people in Texas. In the meantime, here are some of the key measures to watch. House Bill 7 will let private citizens sue anyone who manufactures or distributes abortion drugs to or from Texas. Those who take the drugs cannot be sued. The plaintiff, if related to the fetus, could get at least $100,000 following a successful case. If they are unrelated to the fetus, they could only get 10% of the damages, and they must give the remainder to charity. Backers of the law say it protects unborn babies and closes loopholes, while its critics say the measure turns individuals into bounty hunters and tries to broaden the state's abortion ban beyond its border. The law will take effect on December 4th.
All right,
And that
let's break this down.
So I can sue for somebody else's abortion, even if I'm not related, and then I can get maybe 10% of it, and I have to give the rest to charity. Are they crazy?
but if they related to the fetus, say the grandmother or the father or whatever, they get $100,000 for telling.
That's absolutely insane. I hate to say it, they're working on the snitch system. I grew up in that system.
Mm-hmm.
It's cultish.
Mm-hmm. It
Like
is.
Jazzy said, what the
Mm-hmm.
Frank
Okay.
Adams they talking about?
You got to go back into the shadows. And I'm not saying that I am pro circumstance and stuff happens. I don't think it's something that should be used all the time, but ain't none of my business what you doing. Because when I die, I feel like that in my faith, that when I answer for mine, they ain't gonna ask me about Susie's abortion down the street. That's between her and her doctor and her people.
That's between her and her God, as far as I'm
Right.
concerned.
He ain't gonna ask me about that. He gonna say, "Why did you, Nitra? Don't worry about Susie." So I don't know
And
why everybody's in everybody's business. And it said, you have to show grace, but all these things are killing our freedom, and each state is doing their little bit to help kill it.
Well, like May Money said, I got a fetus sibling, and I don't even know what it is yet. The hell? I feel you, girl. I feel you.
mm-hmm, I mean
Don't make no
money.
sense.
Well, it doesn't make sense because it's not supposed to make sense. It's a form of control. They continually want to control women. And the fact that after they get here, They wanna take away all the programs for children. And then last week, or I think it was a week or 2 weeks ago, this black lady had went to the hospital. They had a baby. I know every it made the news. She went to had a baby, and they wouldn't let her go in the hospital, and so her husband had to deliver the baby
In a car.
in a car. Yeah.
in my
Mm.
state.
Yeah, okay, uh-huh. See, so
Not too far, right by near my house. So I was paying attention to it, and I to say it. I don't mean Catholic networks and stuff. So when you go to their hospitals, they don't do anything in regards to that. So like I worked at one for 12 years. If you needed your tubes tied, even and you scheduled it with your birth, you would literally have to leave your baby with us. They take you across town to the other hospital. You have your tubal ligation, stay over there for a little bit, and then come back to us just to get that done. So that means you have to, they can't do it all in one swift. So they got to do two things. So
yeah.
that's expensive. You're going to two different hospitals. That's different network. It's just, I never understood that and didn't like it. But that's another way to suppress it because the hospital itself is putting its face on the people that come there. And sometimes that's all there is.
Correct. I just want to add in to Jazzy. I know people are capable of being extremely evil in ways we don't believe. So I just know you will family members forcing women to take those drugs just so they can get that
Mm,
money. Yeah, you right. You right, Jazzy. Good point. Yeah.
mhm, and that could be very true.
That would be the hustle though. I
Mhm,
mean, I'm just, and that's
mhm.
what the things they don't think about those kind of things.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we have a couple more bills to go through. Let's go through bill number 8, Andrea.
Okay, Bill 8 will replace the state of Texas assessment of academic readiness with 3 shorter tests throughout the school year. The law will swap out the standardized tests that critics have long said puts too much pressure on students and requires too much classroom. That sounds crazy already.
Thank you.
Now, how dumb you want them to be? Too much classroom preparation time. The vast majority of its provisions will activate on December 4th, and students will start taking the new assessments in the next school year. And every year we just fall lower and lower and lower in the world of being smart. Our children are not as smart as they used to be. And people of color, they tend to teach their children at home. They do homeschooling. The ones that can do homeschooling. And I have a lot of family members that have done homeschooling.
I want to highlight what Momo is saying. Everything they're doing is straight from Project 2025. Can I get an amen on that?
Mhm.
Amen. Said dumb them down and shut them up.
Uh-huh. Don't know your history. What history? Our history was stolen from us a long time ago. And every
I told
time
them.
we start remembering it, they wipe it away again.
That's so true. Let's go to Bill 18.
Okay, Bill 18 will create more penalties for lawmakers who break quorum to delay legislative actions, including harsher fines, new limits on funds they raise during the break, as well as loss of seniority and committee posts. The law was passed during the second special session after most of the Texas House Democrats fled the state in response to the Republican congressional redistricting effort. It will take effect on December 4th.
All right, let's summarize Bill 18.
Bill 18 means if you leave, they're going to fine you and penalize you, and you can't make money while you're out. You can't build seniority, and you'll lose all your committee posts.
So you're gonna be punished if you do anything to block it. I get what they're saying. But the thing about it is if they do their business and don't try to cheat people and go, they won't have to worry about this. But extreme things cause for extreme measures. So bump them.
All right, so
But they
make
trying
money.
to quash all this and make people suffer, kind of like they did during the shutdown.
Right.
That's
So
right.
I just want to quickly go back to Bill 8, guys. May Money did come back to us. It
Mhm.
depends. In my experience, the schools are doing their best to teach and fund the school at the same time. Makes it difficult. Yeah, you're right. Okay. Thanks, May Money. Does she have
And
any?
it's dependent on what state you're in, and
Too.
May Money is in California, where she has a governor that is very smart, and
Yeah,
he
we're talking Texas law. You're right.
this is gonna be law December 4. Some already took effect in September. There
Next
were
week.
800 bills that passed that we know nothing about. I don't know about all these 800 bills. I know when I went to vote last, I was telling my son, "You must go vote. You need to read what's going on." People don't like to read no more.
Well, you got to sit still for that.
Mhm.
May Money also comment, and it's still up there. Students are suffering with all this learning from technology, though, badly. So there is so many codes that are bills that are out there. We're just going to highlight Bill 25. What is Bill 25, Andrea?
So, House Bill 25 will allow people to buy ivermectin, which is mainly used to treat parasites in livestock, without a prescription. The drug became popular during the pandemic as a COVID-19 treatment, even though the US Food and Drug Administration has not approved it for such use. Its backers and the measure is about medical freedom, while its opponents are concerned about misuse and drug safety. This law will take effect on December 4th.
All
Y'all know
right. We're going to move to Bill 26. We're not going to read it. We're just going to highlight it.
Bill 26 will allow Harris County sheriffs and constables to enter into contracts with homeowners associations, school districts, and municipal utility districts to provide additional policing for them without needing approval from the county's commissioners' courts.
And that will go into effect December 4th. I just want to get to Bill 8.
To okay, Senate Bill 8 from the second special session will restrict which private spaces transgender people can use in public buildings, such as government offices, public schools, universities, prisons, and jails. Based on their sex assignment at birth, it will also prohibit those assigned male at birth from using women's domestic violence shelters unless they are a minor and the child of a woman receiving services there. Institutions could face a $25,000 fine for the first violation and a $125,000 penalty for each subsequent one. The lawbacker said it protects women's privacy and safety, which critics say the measure will put trans people as well as cisgender people who are falsely accused in danger. The law will take effect December 4th, following a decade long effort by Texas Republicans.
I'm laughing because May Money is like, not the horse medicine again. Oh,
Mhm.
Here we
Lord.
go.
That's
We are behind. Our behinds are cooked. We are burnt to the crisp. Yes, 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 May Money. Absolutely. To
well, let's go. I want to make sure I say this though, because Senate Bill 11 will shield trafficking victims from prosecution for certain crimes committed under the trafficker's force, fraud, or coercion. Lawmakers also passed a similar legislation during the regular session, but Governor Greg Abbott vetoed it. I mean, all of this is so important. You can go to the Texas Tribune. It was November 26, 2025 that this was published, and they didn't even give us enough notice to even let us know all of this was even going on, actually.
mm,
And that was the motive. That was the point.
right. There you have it, people.